You know, when I think about it, I actually can't count on my fingers how many times I've had women come to me during coaching sessions and say, something told me check his phone, or something told me to take this relationship, this inappropriate relationship that he was having with someone else, a little bit more seriously than I would normally. And I didn't want to be anxious, or I didn't want to be someone that was considered, psycho or crazy. But my intuition was telling me, or even guys, my intuition was telling me. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about that. I'm going to give you 5 differences between what's your anxiety and what's your intuition. Thank you for sticking around. If this is your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel by clicking that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you're notified for all the newest coaching content. When you've grown up in environments that are very unhealthy for you, or even if you've been in relationships that have caused you to become a little bit more skeptical or, reluctant to fully trust someone, it's when you have that overactive fight or flight mechanism. It actually prevents you from understanding what's actually real, or having that clarity of what's real, what's anxiety, or what's your intuition, right? That gets broken. You learn not to trust yourself, because if you've gotten in a relationship with someone and you truly trusted them and you end up being wrong about that, or they end up, abusing you to a way where you felt like you don't know what your reality is, I'm sure that you weren't able to make decisions that were clear-minded, right? You weren't able to follow your deep knowing. You were mainly making decisions based out of fear because you didn't want to get hurt anymore. I'm going to talk to you guys about the 5 differences between your anxiety and your intuition. It's a little bit tricky to figure it out, but I believe that, meditation through isolation and just really sitting with your thoughts and letting that anxiety just wear itself out, you can just weed that out at the end. And what'll rise to the top is your intuition. My intuition have told me about business decisions, about relationships, about a bunch of different things. It's only when I ignored my intuitions that I ended up regretting it. So that's why I spend a lot of time in isolation, through meditation, reading books. Books can help you sharpen your intuition because you take the stories from other people and you just see patterns that starts to form. So you know that, hey, this isn't just my anxiety running rampant. This is actually what I know. It's a deep knowing. It's a higher sense of knowing. Number 1, your anxiety is fear-based and it's emotionally and usually irrational. Now, if you want to go into the realm of insecure attachments, this is where a lot of anxiety comes to the forefront. This is when you experience that in your relationship. It's usually based in, the fear, we talk about in attachment styles, your core wounds, which is fear of abandonment, fear of being vulnerable, fear of losing your independence. All those different fears that come to the forefront when you're dealing with your anxiety. The difference between that and your intuition is more calm and instinctual, right? It's this deep knowing. Like I said before, it is this higher awareness, this higher knowing of what's actually occurring in your life. This can be more than just your relationships. This can be in the type of house you purchase, the type of car you purchase, investment opportunities, all these different things that, your instinct is really telling you to go with. And we can get to that later on. I think that's number 4 or number 5. Number 2, your anxiety lives in the past and in the future. I think it might have been Seth Guru or Thich Nhat Hanh that said, we don't live in the past and the future because they don't exist. What does exist is this moment right now. That's when your anxiety starts to kick in. It's all the memories that you had about other situations that, hurt you. It's usually a pain. It's your anxiety is usually your defense mechanism to prevent you from further pain. Your past is things that's happened and it's damaged you and you don't want it to reoccur again. The future is the things that can potentially happen. It might have been Earl Nightingale. He said only 8% of our worry is actually worth worrying about. Look up The Fog of Worry by Earl Nightingale. He breaks it down and talks about the things that we break down. He did some studies on this. The things that we worry about that's actually worth worrying about is only 8%. All the other ones, very small, never really comes to pass. It never really happens. And when you think about your intuition is right now. It's usually the present moment. If anxiety is living in the past and living in the future, then your intuition is living for right now. And you have to ride with that decision because you're taking current information, what's actually happening right now, and making that intuitive decision. The third thing is your intuition will always be led with your mind, and your anxiety will most likely be led with your heart and your gut. It starts with that gut instinct, and then the gut travels to your heart, and your heart starts to pump. So then you have these two things overthrowing your mind, which is causing you to find some logically based information to support that anxious feeling that you're feeling, because it's usually sparked by the gut or the heart, and that's usually some type of fear, like we talked about before. But your intuition starts in your mind, right? You pause and you look at things objectively. It's almost like you pan out and you see the bigger picture. And you go, this is why I tell people, if you want to sharpen your intuition and you want to weed out that anxiety, journal right away. If you feel like this gut instinct happening, journal it, go back, reread it, see if any of these things make sense that you're writing down. And most of the time you'll see that this isn't even something that's rooted in reality. It's something that's just kind of like a wildfire that's taken over you. And next thing you know, you're making poor decisions. And anytime you make anxious, overly emotionally charged decisions, you end up with regrets. That's why your intuition is something you need to really focus on honing in on so you can prevent these type of things from happening in the future. The fourth thing is your anxiety is usually uncertain and it's confusing as opposed to your intuition, which is usually decisive and confident. You ever notice that when you make your intuitive decision, you're very confident about it and you're riding or dying with that, right? Even if you fail, even if you were wrong, you still were so confident and you were so intuitive about that move that you made. Unlike your anxiety, and anxiety is you're usually ambivalent, you're uncertain, you're going back and forth, you're wondering, should I address this issue? Is this something that's real? And then you have people that are really severely anxious. They'll just go with the narrative that they've already been impressed upon, right? And that's the confusion there. They think that this is their intuition, but it's actually rooted more in their fears than the actual what's happening right now, the actual present moment, and the supporting information that they have right now. I hope that makes sense. 5, the last and final one, is your anxiety is usually based in something negative, right? Negativity. And your intuition is usually positive, which means we're going to be taking steps forward in life. We're not going to be setting ourselves back. We're not going to be sabotaging relationships because of our anxiety from past wounds, from people from the past, or from past relationships, past your parents even, which is huge. And your intuition is leaning more towards helping you achieve things in life, helping you have the best outcomes in any area of life. It's not rooted in any type of negativity. So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. Reach out to me on my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as I am Coach Court. And always remember, when you go be loved, you'll never have to find it. God bless you, and namaste.